you'll be able to draw this from the walls to the windows and doors, all of the fills and floors, as well as the objects, all step by step. All right, now to get started, we'll go to new project. For the template, we'll just go to generic template and we'll go simple profile 29 and we'll go new. Now to create our first wall, we'll go on over to the left-hand side and we'll click on the wall tool and then we'll click into the open space. If we now drag our mouse down, we'll start to see our first wall. Now we want this to be straight, so we're going to hold in the shift key, which is going to lock it in at 90 degrees down the page. Now while holding shift, if we now tap tab just once, we'll be able to enter in our first measurement. So let's go ahead and type in 5500, which is 5.5 meters. From here, if we press enter, we now have our first wall. Now so that it's a little bit easier to see, we'll scroll our middle mouse button so that we get closer to the wall. Now if we press and hold the middle mouse button, you'll see a little hand icon come up, and this is how we pan in the view. So between scrolling and panning, it's much easier to zoom into the elements in the workspace. Now if we press F3 or Command F3 on a Mac, this is going to take us into a 3D view, which we can see the wall that we've just drawn. When we draw a wall in 2D, it draws in the 3D at the same time. Now, just like in the floor plan, if we scroll our middle mouse button, it's going to zoom in on that wall. And the same thing, if we click and hold our middle mouse button, we're going to be able to pan around in that view. Now, if we hold in the middle mouse button and hold the shift key, we'll be able to orbit in our view. So we can navigate around the things that we've created in the 3D space. Now, if you ever get lost inside of the 3D space and you can't find your 3D elements, if we hover over this icon just down here, the fit to window, if we click this once, it's going to center the model in our view. Now to go back to the 2D view, we'll tap F2 just once. Now if we hit escape, we'll notice that the top toolbar goes blank. So now if we click on the wall, we can actually adjust it after we've drawn it. Now for this example, we just want simple walls. We'll click on structure and then we're going to change this one to basic. And we'll notice it now just becomes one color. This is going to make things a lot simpler for us in just a second. If we now hit escape, sometimes you might have to hit escape twice so that it actually deselects. And from here, we want to draw our second wall. Now a cool shortcut, if we hold in the Alt key, we'll notice our cursor turn into a little eyedropper. If we now click on the wall that we've just drawn and we drag our cursor down to the bottom left-hand corner, we'll notice a little tick. If we click and start drawing in our second wall, now we're going to hold in shift so that we lock in our wall at 0 degrees, which means that it's going to be perfectly horizontal. If we now tap tab just once, 7500, and we hit enter, we now have our second wall. And we'll notice this is drawn the exact same wall type as our first wall. This is because we absorbed its attributes by holding in the Alt key and absorbing the wall's parameters. But don't overthink it too much. Let's keep the momentum and draw in your third wall. From here, we'll hover our mouse until we see that little tick icon. We'll click once again. We'll bring our mouse up. We'll hold in shift so that it locks it in perfectly 90 degrees. We'll tap tab just once. From here, we'll type in 7,000 and we'll hit enter. Again, we'll click once we get that little tick icon. We'll hold in shift and tap tab 2950 and we'll hit enter. We'll click again. Now we can click our middle mouse button and drag that so it's centered in the space. So while we're completing an operation, we can still navigate in the space by clicking and panning or zooming in and out. Now the cool thing that we can do now that we're getting close to connecting our walls, if we click in our wall and then start dragging our mouse down, we now hold in shift, but instead of tapping tab, if we now line our mouse up with this wall just over here, we'll notice our cursor turns into a little black pencil. If we click once, this has lined up our wall. Now we can do the same thing. If we click once and then drag our mouse just over to here, and if we click once, and with that, we've got our exterior walls finished. Now, if we hit escape and deselect the wall tool, if we now click into the open space and then drag our cursor over the top of our walls and then click once again, we can select all of our walls. So from here, if we want to change the wall thickness, now if we move our mouse up into this top toolbar just here, and if we scroll using the middle mouse button all the way until we find this just here, if we click in and we type in say 250, which is the typical width of a brick veneer wall, we'll notice that all of our walls adjust accordingly. From here, we're going to start drawing in our internal walls. So if we now click on this corner just here and we drag our mouse all the way down, if we hold in shift and then click on this wall just down here, we've now drawn our first internal wall, but it's flipped around the wrong way. So if we hit escape, sometimes you have to hit escape twice to actually deselect. If we now click on the wall and up in this top panel just here, if we click on reference line just once, it's going to flip that wall around. Now, typically for an internal wall, these are going to be 90 millimeters. So we'll just go up to the top here and we'll type in 90. Now from here, if we hit escape And if we hold in the Alt key and then we click on our wall, we can now start drawing in our second internal wall. If we hold in Shift and then click on this wall just over here, we can start dividing our internal spaces. So we can end up with our plan looking like this. Now, so that we can enter in the dimension just here, we can click on this number just here and then type in our distance. So 1950. And if we hit enter, it's going to make sure that that wall is offset from our exterior wall. Now, these guides won't always show up for everything that we're moving inside of ArchiCAD. So it's critical to know this next command. With our wall selected, if we hold in Control and then tap D just once, we've now activated the drag shortcut. So if we click on this top blue edge just here and then pull our mouse up, while we're dragging it up, before we hold in Shift, if we just tap Control just once, you'll now notice next to your cursor, you've got a little plus icon. So this means that we're duplicating this wall. If we now hold in Shift, that's going to lock it at the 90 degrees. We'll tap Tab just once and we'll type in 1390 and we'll hit enter. From here, let's hit escape and then we'll grab this wall just here. We'll do the exact same thing. We'll use the drag shortcut. We'll hold in Control, tap D. We'll click on this blue line just here. We'll drag it across to the left. We'll tap in Control just once. And now we'll hold in Shift so it locks it at that 90 degrees. We'll tap Tab and we'll type in 600 and we'll hit enter. Excellent. Now if we hit escape twice, if we now click on our wall just here, we'll notice that this little node shows up when we have a wall selected. If we click on this node, the Pet Pallet will show up, which is this just here. In the Pet Pallet, if we have stretch selected, we can now stretch that wall out. So if we hold in Shift and then drag our mouse all the way to the left until we reach this edge just here and then click, we've now stretched our wall out and across. We'll do the same thing with this wall just here. We'll click its node, we'll hold in Shift and we'll drag this one all the way across. We'll hit escape twice. If we now click on this wall, we'll use Control D to drag. We'll click on that blue line. And while we're dragging it across, if we now tap Control just once so we can create a duplicate, we'll hold in Shift so it's locked in at that 0 degrees, perfectly horizontal. We'll tap Tab and we can type in our dimension. So from here, we'll type in 1050 and we'll hit enter. We'll hit escape twice just to deselect everything. And from here, we're going to use a really cool shortcut to trim up some of those walls. If we now hold in Control or Option on a Mac, we'll notice that our cursor has become a pair of scissors. If we now drag our cursor over to the wall just here, and if we just click this wall once, we'll notice that we've cut that part of the wall out of the room. So let's do that again. If we hold in Control, let's do it for this just over here. We'll cut that wall out. We'll do the same thing for this wall just here. Holding Control, and then we'll click this wall just here. From here, if we click this wall, we'll use the shortcut Control D to drag. We'll click on that blue line. We'll tap Tab just once so we can create a duplicate. We'll hold in Shift to lock it at 90 degrees. We'll tap Tab and we'll type in the dimension 1090 and we'll hit enter. And we're going to cut this wall just here and we'll cut this wall just here. And with that, we've got all of our internal walls. And we've learned a bunch of really cool tools that we can use to adjust elements inside of ArchiCAD. Next up, we'll start drawing in some of our doors. On the left-hand panel, we'll click on the door tool. And now if we hover our mouse over the top of the wall and then we click, we've now placed our first door. But we'll notice that when we move our mouse, it's trying to figure out which orientation to place the door leaf. So for this one, we'll just hover it to the bottom left-hand corner and we'll click once again. And this will place our door inside of the wall. Let's go ahead and place a few more doors inside of our project. We'll do one just here and another one for our bathroom. We'll do one more for our robe just here. Now for this robe, we actually want this one to be a double door. So if we hit escape twice and then select on the door, if we now go up into the top panel and click on the settings dialog, it's going to bring up the settings for our door. We'll drag this one over just a little bit. Now just inside of here, if we scroll our middle mouse button, we'll see more options as we go down. We want the double door, so we'll double click the door just here, and then we click OK. We've now changed our single into a double door, but it's not quite in the right position. So just like with the walls, with the door selected, if we use the shortcut Control D, and if we zoom in, we'll zoom in a little bit closer and we'll click on this node just here. And we can then drag the door up until we meet this edge of the wall. We'll click once again, we'll hold in middle mouse button and pan down, and we want to center it in that wall. So we'll go Control D again, we'll click on this node, and the distance is 450. If we tap Tab and we divide that by 2, we've got 225, and we'll hit enter, and we'll zoom back out. From here, if we hit escape twice, and if we hold in the Alt key, we can now absorb its attributes, just like we did with the walls, and we click once. We can now place a door into this wall just up here. Now for this door here, we actually want a sliding door. So if we hit escape and then select the door and we go into the settings, instead of in hinged doors, just below hinged doors, we should have sliding doors. If we now scroll on down and we click on sliding door, we'll click the icon and we'll go OK. We've now got our sliding door. Now with the door selected, we'll want to make this one a little bit bigger. So up here, if we hover our mouse, we'll notice that we've got some sizes here. So this one just here, if we double click and type in say 2200 and hit enter, we can adjust the size of our door. Now if we move our mouse over to the right just a little bit just here, we've got reveal to wall face. Now if we double click this and say type in 85, we can adjust the position of that door inside of the wall. We can do this for doors as well as windows. So next up, let's draw in our window. So we'll hit escape twice to deselect our tool, and then we'll click on the window tool. From here is just like the door. If we hover our mouse over the wall, we'll notice a little opening appear. If we click once, we have placed our window. And then from here, if we click once again, just outside, this will finish the operation. Now, if we hit escape twice and then select our window and we go up to its settings, we'll notice that we've got a bunch of windows here as well. So if we go say to the sliding windows, and if we double click on the 2- window and then we click OK, and we'll change the reveal to 85. If we now hit F3, we can see all of our progress in the 3D window. Now to make this a little bit more aesthetic, if we go down to this bottom toolbar just here and we click, we'll have a bunch of different pens that we can choose from. From here, if you have a grayscale or a black and white pen set, if we just click, it's so much nicer to look at. If we go back into 2D, it's the same thing. If we click on our pen set and we go to grayscale, oh, it looks so much better. Now, if you don't have the grayscale or the black and white pen set, it's not critical to drawing the floor plan, but it does look much nicer. All right, now to take the text off of our doors. Now, if we hold in Shift and select the doors, clicking each one of them just near the casing, if we now go up to our settings, if we click this dialog just here, and we go all the way down to the bottom, we go to tags and labeling. If we turn off leaf width dimensions as well as custom text. Now, depending on the library that you're using, it might be in a slightly different area of the dialog, or you might just need to turn off the dimension marker just here. But for this one, if we now just go OK, it's going to turn off all of that text. And with that, it looks so much cleaner. Next up, we'll draw in our floors. From here, we'll go to our slab tool, and with geometry method rectangular, we'll click in this bottom left-hand corner and we'll drag all the way up to this top right-hand corner, and we'll click again. If we now hit F3, we've now got a floor drawn in for our project. Now to change the texture of the floor, if we hit escape and then click on the slab, so we'll click on structure and we'll turn this to basic. From here, if we scroll across until we get to buy building materials, if we now click override surface and we click the top surface, it's now going to override its material. From this dialog, we can choose what material we apply to that surface. We can do the same thing for the edge. For this one, let's turn it to concrete. Let's go number 2. We'll click outside. And now if we go back into our 2D, we'll notice that nothing's really changed. Now, if we click on a slab and then we go up to floor plan and section, if we now click cover fills, and for this one, we're using plank floor, and we've got it as a light gray pen. If we click outside, we've now got that fill showing on the top of that slab without having 2 separate elements. If we click on the edge of this slab, we'll notice the Pet Pallet shows up, and inside of here, we'll just want to go insert new node. We'll drag our mouse just across to here, and we'll click once. We've now created a node that, if we click in the middle again, and we go to the Pet Pallet and we go to offset edge, we can now drag this slab down. And if we click just here, this has cut out a section of our slab. If we hit F3, and if we pan around in our view, we'll notice that it's done this in 3D as well. Let's go back to our 2D view. Now we want to put in some tiles for our patio as well as our wet area. So let's hold in Alt and then we'll click on our slab. We'll click in this bottom left all the way up to the top right. We'll hit escape once to deselect the tool and then we'll select the slab. From here, if we go to various overrides and we turn this one to a tile, if we go to tiles 10, 30 by 30, we click on that one, we'll notice that nothing has changed. We click outside and we now go to floor plan and section, and then we click on use surface from fill. It's now going to change that fill so that it matches the surface's fill that's associated with it. Don't worry about that too much for now. That's a rabbit hole that you can go down another day. All right, so let's click on out. And from here, if we deselect, hitting escape twice, and then we hold in Alt and we'll click on our tiles. So we've just absorbed its attributes. Now this time we're going to go to geometry method polygonal. So once we click, we're going to have greater flexibility where we're actually drawing the fill. So if we click on these different nodes just here, now for this one, if I hold in Shift and then I line it up with this part of the wall here, I'll click once. And then now I can just click on these wall points just here, and then back at the start, you'll notice a little hammer. Once we click that, it's going to draw in that slab. From here, we'll hit escape, we'll hold in control, and we're just going to cut this wall just here so we can actually get into our laundry. And we'll also hold in alt, we'll click this door, and we need one more door just for here. We'll select this one, and we're going to change this one to a bifold door. From here, if we go to sliding folding doors, we'll just go to a single folding multi-panel door. We'll make its width 900mm, and we'll go OK. If we now use the shortcut Control M, we can now flip this door in its position. And if we click on this little purple node just here, we can actually pull this door a little bit further. Let's go ahead and change this one to 1000, just for a little bit more space. From here, we'll start adding in some of our furniture and objects. In the left-hand panel, if we double-click the object tool, this is going to open up its settings. Now, if we click and drag this one across, in this top bar just here, we can type in what we're looking for. So if we type in WC for a toilet, if we click on the toilet and then go OK, and then just up against the wall, we'll place it here. Now, if we hit escape to deselect, if we now select the toilet using the shortcut Control E, if we now select the back of the toilet and then click on the front, we'll then be able to rotate it around. Now we'll want to hold in Shift so it locks it at that 90 degrees, just like we do with the walls. And we've got our toilet placed. Let's place some more, double clicking on the object tool. Now, instead of searching, we can actually just look through the folders if we click on the libraries icon just here, which has them all categorized into different folders, from bathtubs all the way to sinks. But once you know what you're looking for, searching is typically the faster way. So if we now type in bed, we'll click on double bed 01, we'll go OK. If I click in the middle of the room, it's going to place that bed in. Now if I hit escape and escape again, I'm now going to rotate it 90 degrees. And then we'll use Control D to drag. And then we're going to drag this one up just against. Let's open back up the objects. This time, let's type in table. Let's go a little coffee table. We'll go OK. And we'll place in one. We'll deselect and let's make that a little bit smaller. Let's go say 600, maybe in 500. There we go. And then let's place one on either side of the bed. From here, let's get a vanity. We'll go for this basin cabinet just here. Now, if we go across, we can change the sink type to something, say, like rectangular, and then go OK. We'll place that one in our bathroom. We'll hit escape twice, and then we'll rotate this one 180. And we can drag that one so it's a little bit bigger. Let's go 1200 and we'll go OK. Now for the kitchen, let's model in a bench. For this, we can actually use the slab tool. If we have this set as a basic slab, let's change the height to 900 and then the height off the ground to 900 as well. And from here, if we click in the bottom right, let's go to geometry method rectangular, and then we'll bring it all the way up to the top. We'll tap tab just once, and we're going to make this a depth of 600, and we'll hit enter. We'll hit escape twice, and then we're going to select this. We'll change its material. So if we scroll across, we go to the material, going to change this one to say, let's go titanium white. We'll click on the last surface and we'll link all these together so that all of them match that top one. So it's just going to be a white basic model bench. So if we click out of here and then we go into our 3D, if we pan around, we'll now see that we've got a representation of a kitchen bench. The slab tool is nice and freeform, so we can actually adjust it however we want. This is a really easy way to be able to model things inside of ArchiCAD. Even though it's a bit of an atypical use of the slab tool, with a bit of creativity, it can be a really powerful tool. Let's hit undo, and we'll chuck some sinks into that as well. We'll go to general sink. I'm a big fan of double sinks like this. We'll go OK, and we'll place that into the kitchen. Now, some of the objects have different pens. This is a gray, that's a black. So to match all of the pens, what we can do, if we select the object tool, then use the shortcut Control A, this is going to select all of the objects in our current view. From here, if we go up to floor plan and section, we can then override the object's pens. And we can change this, say, to something like the black. If we click outside and click once again, we'll notice that everything has the same pen color. We can do this for anything. If we select on the slab tool, Control A, we can select all the slabs. Very powerful method for selecting everything in the scene of one particular type. With the floor plan drawn up, this is a massive step forward in your drafting journey. I'd encourage you to keep the momentum and continue building on your plans, with elevation sections and the core drawings essential for real-world projects. If you're looking for a structured path from beginner to advanced, the fundamentals course is now available, which I'll link to down below. Now, in a real set of plans, there are 4 drawings that every project needs, which we cover in this video just over here. So go on and check it out.